When I discover that I am not who I always thought I was, my heart is filled with shock and anger. My parents are not my biological ones, and my real family has been silently protecting me all along. Chapter 13. Kyle is an enigma. His personality as unpredictable as the weather. One moment, he's cracking jokes, his eyes twinkling with mirth, and the next, he's cold and distant, as if an invisible curtain has been drawn between us. I desperately need to consult Elisa. Her knowledge about relationships far surpasses mine. Suddenly, I feel a familiar sensation between my legs. Oh no, my period has arrived at the most inopportune moment. I attempt to extricate myself from Kyle's embrace without disturbing him, but my efforts prove futile. Propping himself up sleepily, I need to go to the bathroom. I explain, my cheeks flushing with embarrassment. The realization that Kyle likely doesn't keep tampons in his apartment hits me. He releases me, and I hastily make my way to the bathroom, confirming my suspicions. I find myself in a predicament, with no options available. I clear my throat and call out, "To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nolan, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm." "Yes, baby," he responds, his voice thick with sleep. Hating the situation I'm in. I started my period. I admit. My voice barely above a whisper. I hear him groan as he gets out of bed. "I'll be back in 5 minutes." His tone matter of fact. "Okay," I reply, relief and mortification warring within me. I listen as he moves around the room and then leaves the apartment, chastising myself for not being better prepared. I wait a couple of minutes before cleaning up and washing my hands. Stepping out of the bathroom, I grab Kyle's cell phone and return to my porcelain throne. I dial Elisa's number, hoping she can offer some advice or at least commiseration. "What?" Elisa answers, her voice gruff with irritation. I launch into a rapid, fire explanation of my predicament. I started my period and Kyle had to go get me tampons. Now I'm stranded on the toilet. Oh, and last night I accused him of having a relationship with Anna and was mean to him. Now I owe him an apology and I have to top his apology to me, which was Rice Krispie treats. Gasping for air. There's a moment of silence before Elisa bursts into laughter. "Kyle went to buy you tampons," she exclaims between fits of giggles. "I just can't see him doing that." "He had to," I explain, my embarrassment growing. "I don't have any with me. You better give him a real good blowjob for that," she orders. I scoff. "I don't know how to do that." I can't imagine the awkwardness of my attempt to learn. "You're a smart girl. You'll figure it out." "Yeah, I'll just tell him to lie on his back while I figure out how to give him a proper blowjob." Rolling my eyes. "Can you ever?" I look over to see a grinning Colleen against the door frame. Why do I do this to myself? I left the stupid door open. "Tell me you haven't been standing there long," I beg, mortified. He chuckles and I hear release a squeal with laughter. "He heard you. This is the greatest night of my life. I hate you." Hanging up. "I borrowed your phone." Sheepishly, avoiding eye contact with him, I hold his phone out to him. He takes it and hands me the tampons. "Thank you." "You're welcome. I'll be on my back waiting for your first lesson," he replies, shutting the door. "That was a joke," I yell. Next time I think of doing something stupid like calling my sister, I'm just going to jump off a bridge and save myself the embarrassment. I take care of business and wash my hands and try to stop my burning cheeks. I open the door and, as promised, Kyle is on his back waiting for me. Smiling reluctantly. "You know that's twice you and your sister were caught talking about me and blowjobs. It's not my fault. She thinks it will solve all my problems," I mutter. I climb into bed and turn off the lamp. Was that supposed to be my apology? Amused. "No," she said, "I better give you one as a thank you for the tampons." He moves to wrap himself around me and I fall asleep in his strong arms. I wake up alone and I don't hear Kyle. I assume he's either in his office or out for a run. I go to the bathroom to take care of things and walk to the kitchen. I just take down a glass and fill it with orange juice when Kyle comes in wet with sweat. His chest is bare and his track pants are almost falling off his hips. He looks mouth-watering. Stop looking at me like that or I'll take you. Bleeding or not. My eyes snap to his and I see them dilate. I look to the ground as he steps forward. Wanting a distraction, I grab my juice and take a drink. He stops in front of me and lifts my chin up with his large hand. This is when I'm most nervous with Kyle. When his wolf takes over so quickly, his eyes and on mine. He growls and I jump. Don't do that. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I nod, not really knowing what he's saying. I assume it's my nervousness. He doesn't like when I show my fear. He won't hurt me. I know he won't, but it's almost instinctive for me to run when I see his wolf rise. It will be better once he claims me. I'll be able to judge his moods better. His eyes remain locked on mine until he backs up slightly. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Feeling inadequate and ashamed, I hurt his feelings when I show my fear of him. It indicates my lack of trust in him. I know you won't hurt me. It's just that when your wolf surfaces, it's so raw and powerful. It's intimidating. I'm not used to seeing that side of someone come so quickly. I admit. He doesn't reply, just kisses my lips and walks away. Great. Just when I think we understand each other, I find out I'm missing more puzzle pieces of him. I sit down and sip my orange juice. A sweaty Liam comes in, breathing hard. Tough work out? I inquire. Smiling, still breathing hard, he nods and gets a glass of water. You could say that. What were you doing? Interested. You don't have to worry about him losing his fight with Alpha Reese. He took us all, didn't even face him. He shakes his head tiredly. Everyone knows about his strength. Hopefully, Reese comes to his senses and backs out. He can't back out now, and between you and me, I think Kyle is looking forward to it. He told me he lives for it. He nods. So you're moving in? No, I just stayed last night. My bed got torched, remember? He leans in and whispers. He has a habit of not saying what he wants and just takes it. You're moving in here today. Why wouldn't he tell me first? To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He probably thought you figured out when he brought you here last night. He reasons. I guess it doesn't matter. He's going to mark me soon anyway. It makes sense. I just wish I knew him better. At least we have chemistry. I want him and he wants me. I hope we end up having more in common than that, though. Even having slept together, it still feels like we're just barely above acquaintances at times. A freshly showered Kyle comes in the kitchen. Hungry? He asks me. Not really. I answer. We're going to your house and getting a few of your things. Then we can eat breakfast at Lily's diner. I nod and stand up. Liam stays behind and I wave goodbye to him and follow Kyle out to his truck. The ride to my house is uncomfortable. Kyle isn't talking to me, and I don't know if he's mad or not. So I keep quiet. At my house we walk into silence. Everyone is gone. It's 11 o'clock, but I already have a new mattress on my bed. I take a suitcase and put it on the floor of the closet and pack my clothes. Kyle stands in the doorway watching. I can't believe this. But I'm tempted to try and give him a blowjob so he forgives me. I don't care how embarrassing it is. I hate this silent treatment. I need a plan. I have to change anyway. I'm still in my pajamas from last night. I'll get naked and approach him. I know he likes when I'm naked. Maybe that will soften him up. What if he rejects me? Sucking up all my courage, I take down a floor-length black summer dress and drape it on a shelf. I pull my shirt off and slide my shorts down. I don't have a bra on, so it leaves me in my underwear. I turn to Kyle and walk towards him. He watches me advance. His arms crossed and his face unreadable. I don't say anything as I step in front of him. I watch my hands unbuttoning his jeans and lowering the zipper. I drop to my knees as I take him out of his pants. He is large and hard when I lick the tip and look up at him. His eyes are heated and his jaw clenched tightly. I take that as a sign of encouragement and put my mouth around him, my hands resting on his thighs. Moving my head back and forth, sucking lightly. I move one hand to the base of his manhood, holding it as I try to move faster. He moans, cupping the back of my head. He moans one last time and forces me to stand up. He pulls up his pants and picks me up quickly, walking out of the room. I'm so confused at this point, I think I was doing it wrong. He opens the bathroom door and sets me down where he starts the shower. I watch him and rest in record time. He wants a shower. He grabs my arm, pulling me towards him, and slides my underwear down. Walking under the spray of the water, he pushes me against the cold tile and kisses me roughly. He spreads my legs and I feel him pull my tampon out and turn, throwing it in the trash. I'm stunned and horrified until he turns back to me, lifting me by my butt and thrusting himself inside of me. I gasp, feeling him fill me completely. His pace is urgent as he slams into me, his grunts getting louder. My nails dig into his back, holding onto his shoulders. His face is in my neck, nipping and sucking on my tender flesh. I feel myself start to peak and his teeth sink into my neck. My legs shake and squeeze, locking around his waist as I feel my world explode. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I moan, closing my eyes. He rests against me, pinning my hips to the tile with his. Both of us breathing hard. I forgive you. I hear the smile in his voice as he starts to suck on the mark he just gave me. Its ends tingles throughout my body and I arch into him. He doesn't stop his assault on my neck until I'm writhing beneath him, raising my hips trying to get friction. When he finally moves, stopping the torture, I'm wild with need. He takes me to new heights, the feeling more intense than the last. When we both find our release again, I'm exhausted. Chapter 14. Kyle and Liam move my things into Kyle's house. Apparently, I'm not allowed to lift in heavy, so I watch from the porch. I see Elisa coming up the road and pull in the driveway. I smile when I see her. She climbs out and stalks towards me. Why didn't you tell me you were moving out? She snorts. You tell me everything else. She teases about last night. You weren't home, I point out. Her eyes narrow on my neck and she lifts my hair, gasping. He claimed you. Did he ask you? She questions quickly. I knew it was coming. Covering it back up with my hair. She nods. That's good. But I think Dad's freaking out. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Why ask? I guess because we got home and you had packed your things. I don't think he's ready to see us grow up. Mom even cried. I'm like 2 minutes from home. I point out just as Kyle and Liam come out of the house. I feel my stomach erupt in butterflies. Kyle is looking pensive as usual, but instead of making me nervous, it makes me smile. I like thinking that all his smiles and laughs are saved for me. You should go talk to them, Elisa says, urging me to speak to our parents. Yeah, you're right. What's going on? Kyle asks. My parents aren't taking me moving out too well. My mom started crying. I explain. If they have an issue with it, they can come here and talk to me about it. He replies, dismissively. Time for lunch. Taking my hand. I tug at my hand. Why doesn't my family come over for dinner, that way we can talk? He nods his consent and I turn to Elisa. 6 tonight. It doesn't look like my dad can wait. I watch him drive up with my mom in the passenger seat. Kyle looks passive, but I'm still worried because I feel his irritation. It feels awkward all of a sudden. Lately, my parents have been acting so strangely. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. My dad. I just can't fathom him actually missing me for some reason. Oh, for heart. If we could have a moment of your time. Dad asks. Getting out of the car. What is it? We haven't been honest. Straightforward meaning. Emily and Elisa aren't twins. Dad responds. Quietly. I feel the air sucked out of my lungs. What is he talking about? I don't find that shocking. What else? Kyle asks. Calmly, she's not our daughter. And I see stars. Again, I don't find that to be a revelation. Why are you telling me this now? He questions. I can hear the bite in his voice. I feel lightheaded. They aren't my parents. I'm not a twin. Carl's arms wrap around my waist and he carries me inside. He caresses my back. Breathe. I do as he says. My lungs starved for oxygen. Carl sits on his white sofa, with me on his lap. Tell me everything. Kyle orders. He must be talking to my parents. Alpha Chris Reese. Before he stepped down and his S1 took over. Kidnapped Emily from the Griffin Wolf Pack. He took her as retribution. Emily's mom was supposed to be claimed by him the day of the challenge, but a month before the challenge she ran off. She met and fell in love with Alpha Jack Griffin. They mated. Reese found out about it and paid to have Emily taken. He brought her to us when we were still in the hospital. He demanded that we tell everyone they were twins or he'd kill us all. That's one of the reasons we decided to leave so quickly when Alpha Brett Reese left for those 2 months. If we were away from him, we could tell her who she really was and she'd have the option to go home. He explains. What happened when you went home to see your sister? I told Alpha Reese that he could have her and that I didn't tell her what his father did. That night, my sister left and the Griffin Pack took her in. Why didn't she come here? She knew it would start problems. He pauses, then continues reluctantly. She's also there to tell them where Emily is. If you refuse... I sit listening, feeling my tears fall. I missed out on my real family for almost 18 years. Did they miss me? Alpha Kyle Hart. I'm not surprised these people aren't her parents. She doesn't look anything like them. I am surprised at who her real parents are. I have met them before. I was even considering mating with one of Griffin's daughters. However, unlike Emily, they're chatty and annoying. They're nice girls. Very beautiful, but never held my interest. I declined the offer, offending Griffin slightly. In the end, I think he saw the differences between me and his daughters and understood. I'll have to contact him and tell him what I know. I don't want him finding out from Mark Robinson's sister. However, one question still remains. Why didn't you just take her home? Why did you bring her here? Protection. I couldn't guarantee Alpha Griffin wouldn't hurt us for keeping her away from them. You and Alpha Griffin have the 2 most powerful packs, in numbers and in wealth. You think I'd protect you from him? I question his stupidity. It was a risk, but if you hurt us, you hurt your mate. I think you overestimate her love for you. I get satisfaction from his paling face. I want nothing more than to rip him to shreds. What kind of animal doesn't do the right thing until 18 years later? I detest weakness. Liam, bring me the phone. A minute later, after staring holes in the wimp of a wolf in front of me, Liam hands me the phone. I see he's already put the number in, so I hit end Alpha Griffin. I hear him answer. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I've changed my mind about mating one of your daughters. There is a short silence before he responds. Happy to hear it. As a matter of fact, I've already mated her. I have Emily. I state, playing with her hair. There's a slight pause. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He demands, his voice breathless. I tell him about the Robinsons' role in Alpha Chris Reese, plot for revenge. He listens quietly, not saying a word. I'm assuming you'd like to see her. I ask yes. He replies, gruffly, we'll fly out tomorrow. I reply, what do you want done with Mark Robinson? He sighs deeply. I want to kill him for not coming forward. Did you take care of her? As far as I can tell. I reply, can I talk to her? Nervously, I look down, seeing her body shaking slightly from her quiet sobs. Babe, would you like to speak to your father? She brushes at her wet cheeks but nods yes. I hand her the phone. As he answers, crying loudly, "Oh my God, sweetheart, I'm so." To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I didn't protect you, I hear him say, causing her to cry harder. I'm about to end the conversation when she responds, "It's not your fault. I can't wait to meet you." She hiccups and plays with the collar of my shirt. "I can't wait to meet you either. The whole family will be waiting to see you. Your mother and I mourned losing you. You have never been forgotten. I've thought about you every day." Brokenly, Emily buries her head in my chest and I take the phone. I think she's had enough. "We'll fly out early and be at your territory around 10. We'll be waiting. You better be comforting her." I grin. I barely let her leave my arms. I reply, "I don't need to hear that." He retorts, uncomfortably, "Thank you for bringing her. See you tomorrow." I end the call and put the phone on the sofa, holding Emily tightly in my arms. "Get out of my house until I decide what to do with you." To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He leaves visibly shaking with his family following behind him. I won't do anything to the deceptive wimp. It's up to Jack to decide what he wants done. Chapter 15. Emily POV. I don't even know what I feel. I'm confused and broken. My life has been a big lie and I don't know what to do to put myself back together. Thinking about my dad, Mark, makes my blood boil. All this time I disappointed him and tried to make myself better, and it would have never changed his opinion of me. I wasn't his daughter. It all makes sense. I would have never been good enough. Even knowing all of this, I have to speak to him. I have to confront him. I won't let anything happen to him or the rest of my family. I love Elisa and I will do everything I can to protect Mark. My mom too. Sophie, doesn't deserve losing her husband either. It's not like they could have helped it. I don't even know if they knew or not. Are you okay? Kyle asks. I shake my head. No, what can I do? Nothing. Honestly, I don't know how to make myself feel better. I feel cheated out of a loving family. I want to kill Chris Reese myself. My emotions are making me go crazy. I'm depressed yet. I want revenge. Unhappy I found out the truth yet. I hate knowing what I missed out on. I feel like pulling my hair out. I'm in need of a straitjacket and a padded room. Let's talk about it. Kyle suggests. I don't know where to start. I'm all over the place and my thoughts keep switching from one thing to the next. Let's start with facts. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Sophie and Elisa are not your true family. Elisa always be my sister. I know she had no idea. She would have told me. I state, defensively. You're right. She didn't know. He agrees, nodding his head. I don't want them hurt in any way. It's not their fault. Quietly, Mark should have done more. He waited until he had to tell you the truth and he lied to me. He deserves to be punished. No, don't hurt him. I state, firmly, your real family is great. I'm good friends with your father. Ignoring my statement, I reply. He chuckles. He can be, but he can also be very mean. He'll kill Chris Reese for this. If he chooses to attack, he'll fight with him. I don't want to start a battle about this. What's done is done. Alpha Reese may just give up his father, Chris. From what I've seen of their relationship, they're not close. You're very tender-hearted. Chris Reese will die and so will Brett Reese. They will be held accountable for their actions and lose their lives. It's unforgivable. I understand that. But I don't want anyone else hurt. It's not worth it and it won't change anything. Well, you can't try telling your father that. What are the rest of my family like? Shifting on his lap. You have an older half, brother and half, sister from Jack's first mate. She died giving birth to Rachel. About a year later, he met your mother and had you. Then Lily, who I believe just turned 17 or is about to. You have twin brothers, Brian and Nick. Your sisters talk a lot and your brothers fight all the time. Your mother, Jenna, is very nice. But honestly, you're nothing like her. She is very loud and bubbly. You're a lot like your father in looks and personality. I had a grandpa. At least, I called him Grandpa. I have his eyes. Did they lie about that too? I don't know. Babe, you need to talk to them about that. I can't. I won't be able to lose that part of my past too. I idolize my grandpa. He was everything to me. I don't want to know. I start to cry again. If I'm not a Robinson and I'm not Miles Stanford's granddaughter, who am I really? I belong to a family I never met and I'm mated to an alpha I barely know and struggle to understand. This is a lot for you. Why don't you rest? I don't know if I should go see my real family. I blurt out. What do you mean? I would have to leave them. I don't want to lose anyone else. I just lost a father, mother, and a sister today. It's too soon. I explain, sobbing into my hands. Your family wants to see you. You can't turn away from them. I nod, knowing it's not fair to stay away. I'm not the only one hurting right now. They mourned the loss of their daughter. I couldn't imagine the pain of not knowing if my child was dead or alive. We'll stay for a few days. Maybe longer, depending on what Jack wants to do with the Reese. I'm sure he's calling on other alphas for backup. He rubs my back and I feel my eyes getting heavy. I'm vaguely aware when he stands up. I keep my eyes closed and fall back asleep, escaping from reality. I'm woken up by Kyle kissing my neck. I open my eyes and see him fully dressed. My eyes are dry and I'm sure they're red and puffy. It's time to go. Baby, get up and shower. I'll be waiting in the office. I've already packed your bag. My heart pounds. I'm going to meet my family in a few hours. I watch him leave and climb out of bed, seeing he left out a pair of shiny jeans, navy V, necktie and matching bra and underwear. I go to the bathroom to shower. I brush my teeth and hair and notice my makeup on the counter. I smile. He even left out a tampon. I apply mascara to my red-rimmed eyes. I put on my lip gloss and walk to the closet, sliding on a pair of navy blue flats. Leaving the bedroom, I go to the office. I knock and the door opens to Kyle standing there. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing enthusiasm. Yep. Nervously, he pulls me into his arms and kisses my forehead. They already love you. Don't be nervous. I nod in response and we walk out the front door where Liam is waiting with one of Kyle's vehicles. We slide into the back seat of the car and Liam drives away. I rest my head on the window watching the scenery pass. 15 minutes later, we pull up to a private airstrip with a small white and blue Cessna plane already running. I'm confused when we get out of the car. Carl helps me into one of the front seats of the plane and buckles me in. He walks to the other side, getting in and shutting the door. He hits a few buttons and leans over putting a headset on me. He latches his seatbelt and puts on his own headset. I watch in amazement. He's actually flying us. I get my answer when we head down the runway. Along the journey, he radios a couple of control towers and I watch him in awe. I've never been in a plane before. This is incredible. I feed us dit and look at him alarmed. We're landing soon. I watch our descent. I see the strip of flat pavement he's going to land on. He handled every part of the plane expertly, and when the plane comes to a stop on the runway, I'm almost disappointed. I turn when I see 3 vehicles headed our way. A man comes out of a steel airplane hangar and waves at Kyle. I see there are already 2 planes in the building. The man in blue coveralls asks how the ride was and Kyle tells him it was fine. No trouble. All he needs to do is a basic maintenance check. I turn back to the fast approaching vehicles. Is this my family? Carl wraps his arm around my waist just as they stop and the doors open. I watch as a tall man with white blonde hair get out. He turns to me and I gasp, my hands flying to cover my mouth. Chapter 16. I know just by looking at the man in front of me that he's my father. My hair, my eyes, my skin tone, My square chin. My lips. It's me if I were a man. I chuckle as he comes closer. I'm stunned seeing my features on such a rough-looking man. How could I look so dainty while he looks so manly? It's amusing. I see him crack a smile. You're definitely my daughter. I nod and he holds his arms open. I spring forward, wrapping my arms around his waist, hugging him tightly as my tears fall. I hear sobbing, another set of arms wrap around me. I turn to see a woman with light brown curly hair and green eyes. I missed you so much. Baby girl. I've never stopped loving and missing you. Mom. She closes her eyes and nods her head. I move my arms to hug her as well and she crushes me in a tight embrace. I notice we're the same height, but that's our only physical similarity. I'm never letting you go. She tells me, batting at a pair of hands I think are my father's. I laugh and she cries harder. Jen, the others would like to greet her. She doesn't put away and I can't help but laugh. My mom is very funny. Jenna, shut up. Jack, give me a minute. He snaps. I turn to see him trying to smother a smile. When she finally pulls back, she brings her hand up to my face, looking over my features. You're so beautiful. Even when you were first born, you were stunning. I blush. Has Kyle been taking good care of you? Just tell me if he steps out of line and I'll have your father fix him. She smiles, sending a wink over my shoulder to Kyle. I laugh in response and I hear a girl's voice yell. Okay. Introductions, please. I have things to do today. Mom rolls her eyes and turns to the girl. Emily, this is Ivy, your half-sister. She doesn't move, so I smile and wave at her. She has short dark blonde hair in a bob style and brown eyes. She's tall and beautiful. Hey sis. To very tall, lanky boys say. Rushing forward, hugging me, I smile. You two must be Ryan and Nick. The one with the mole by his left eye smiles. Guilty. I'm Nick. I nod. That's Ryan. Both have short curly brown hair and green eyes like our mom. It's nice to meet you two. I reply. Next in line is a man almost as big as my father. It must be my half-brother. He holds out his hand. Jack Jr., but you can call me T. I smile and shake his hand. He resembles our father, but the coloring is off. He has auburn hair and light grey eyes. Emily. I reply. I'm Lily. I feel arms wrap around me from the side and she starts jumping excitedly with me in her arms. Hi, Lily. We're the same size. We can share clothes and everything. I nod, hugging her back happily. We pull away and I see she looks exactly like our mother. You look so much like Dad. She yells, looking back at our father. I nod, agree with her, and I feel Kyle's hands come around my waist and pull me to his chest. Odd, can we go now? Ivy whines and Dad snaps at her. Enough, Ivy-o. I'm ready. Everyone starts making their way to the cars. The twins grab our bags. Helpfully, Carl turns me around to face him. He looks me over, making sure I'm okay. I'm fine. I reassure him. Let me know if it becomes too much. I will. I reply and we continue to the vehicles. My mom and dad are the only ones that waited for us. We get in the back seat and close the doors. My mom turns in her seat. I can't believe you're actually home. She gushes, happily. I never thought this would happen. She whispers and starts crying loudly. I don't know what to say that will make her feel better. I look up at Kyle, helpless. There's nothing you can do. She'll stop eventually. He replies, smirking down at me. I'm really starting to love those smirks. I turn back to my mom, who is now hiccuping and trying to control them. Jen, stop. You're going to make yourself sick. Dad orders, smiling at her. She turns back to me. Tell me everything about you. Well, I like to eat. My favorite color is red. I don't know. I'm pretty quiet and boring. I shrug. The people that raised you, were they kind to you? Yes, they were typical parents. I still consider Elisa my sister. She's my best friend. Thank God for that. What hobbies do you have? I love art and building things. I hesitate before I continue. The man I considered my grandfather taught me carpentry. I would stay with him almost every weekend working on projects. That's why you chose those electives, Kyle states. Coming to an understanding. Yeah. I didn't get them though. I didn't want you in those classes. He admits. Confused, I ask. Why not? I didn't want you to hurt yourself in wood, shop, and I don't like the guy teaching art. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Mum snorts. Don't worry. It will get better with time. She tells me reassuringly. I remember when I was pregnant with you. Jack wouldn't even let me walk up or down the stairs. You're clumsy. It was a precaution. Dad responds. Defensively. So that's where I get it then. Laughing. Don't worry. You and I aren't alone. Jess can barely walk a straight line without tripping. Mom jokes. I watch as we drive through a wide-open wrought iron gate. It's a lot like Alpac. Nice middle-class houses and a park for kids. A few little stores and a couple of restaurants. I don't know why I keep expecting this to look familiar. I was only a day old when I was taken. When's my birthday? Quietly. September 20th. Mom answers. We pull into a long driveway surrounded by trees. I see a big brick house come into view. Welcome home. Emily. Dad smiles at me in the rear view mirror, thanks. It's good to be back. He stops the car and we all get out. The twins come out scratching their heads. Where do we put the bags? In her old room. Ryan asks and Nick adds. She could probably still fit in her crib. Smiling at me. Put them in the first guest room on the second floor. Mom replies. Laughing. They kept my old room. I'm touched that they would keep it. We'll redo your old room however you want it. Mom responds. Reassuringly. This is really like a homecoming. They want me as a part of their family. Walking inside. I take a deep breath, wanting to remember what home smells like. I smell chocolate chip cookies. Brenda's baking again. Dad comments. Smiling. Looking at me, he explains. Brenda is T's mate. She's pregnant and is always craving sweets. Our house always smells like a bakery. Mum chuckles. Come. Meet her. Kyle. Why don't you follow me? Alpha Briggs will be here shortly. Dad states. Cole kisses my head. Come find me if you need me. I nod and follow my mom. Alpha Kyle heart. I watch her until she disappears into the kitchen. You're lucky you mated her before I had a say in any of this. I want her to stay here for the next 18 years. I feel cheated. He jokes. That's not happening. I tell him, walking behind him into his office. How long do I get to keep her? He inquires. Depends. What's the plan regarding Reese? Contact Alphabet Reese. Tell him if he doesn't hand over his father, he'll have us on his doorstep. Brett challenged me for Emily. He wants her back. He even killed his beta for letting the family leave his territory. He's no challenge for you. It doesn't change the fact I'll openly declare war on his pack, completely decimating it if he doesn't comply. He replies, seriously, rubbing his knuckles ready for a fight. Emily believes he'll give him up, that the two aren't close. She's probably right. He won't want to lose his position over his father. There's a knock and the door opens to reveal Alpha Alex Briggs. He's a year older than me and a few inches shorter. Yet he's a force to be reckoned with. He's brutal in a fight and someone you always want on your side. I know Jack had hopes for him and Ivy, but I've heard him refuse the possibility of a courtship outright. Ivy is a high-maintenance bitch that no one wants any part of. So you found the long-lost Griffin daughter? Alex asks. Coming in. Yeah. Now we're planning a fight. I reply. I'm in. Jack laughs. I didn't doubt it. He states and Jack fills him in on the details. Just as he finishes, the door opens and shuts quickly, then locks. I look at a very flustered-looking Emily with pigtails. A black headband, wearing a blue and white schoolgirl uniform, complete with white stockings that start right where the skirt ends in black, fuck me heels. My mouth is watering. I'm not going back out there. I love my little sister, but I'm not trying on another idea for a Halloween costume, she explains, her eyes wide and traumatized. Jack throws back his head laughing. What the hell are you supposed to be? Clearly entertained. A girl from a movie. Sucker punch. She walks closer but jumps when there's a knock on the door and runs to me, diving into my arms, hiding in front of my body. I instinctively wrap my arms around her. Dad, is Emily in there? Lily asks through the door. No, honey. We're in a meeting. Jack yells back. Babe, I won't let the mean little girl get you. I whisper in her ear. You can't say no to her. If you do, she looks at you like you just kicked her puppy. She grumbles, climbing off my lap to sit next to me. Lily is notorious for that. Don't let it fool you. She's a master at manipulation. Jack chuckles. She groans. Are you kidding me? I went through 7 wardrobe changes and 5 hairstyles and you're telling me she was playing me the whole time. That's exactly what I'm telling you. He chuckles. Wow, you should use her to torture criminals. She mutters. Honey, lunch is ready. Jenna yells. Chapter 17. Okay. Let's eat. Jenna hates waiting. My dad says, ushering us out. We stand up and I notice another in the room. Instinctively, I know he's an alpha, so I don't address him and keep my eyes averted. Carl pulls me to his side and we walk out into the hallway and see a very angry Lily coming towards us. I knew it. Dad, you lied. She accuses, stomping our way. He laughs. Leave her alone. She's not your doll. I know that. I'm trying to figure out our Halloween costumes. She huffs. Halloween is still over 2 months away. Dad states, exasperated. I don't know how long she'll be here and we need to figure it out before she leaves. Right. Emily. Yes. Just decide and tell her. Dad responds. She mutters and we walk to the kitchen. The twins and 2 other guys. Around Kyle's age turn. And watch us. I hate being the center of attention and the way I'm dressed right now isn't exactly making me feel comfortable. What are you wearing? Nick asks, chuckling. Are you supposed to be the sucker punch girl? Ryan questions. Laughing. Joke's on you. Covert. Don't you have that poster in your bedroom? Lily asks, smirking mischievously. Ryan gets a disgusted look on his face and Nick laughs. Oh, gross. I'm burning that poster. Ryan grumbles, holding his stomach. She does look a lot like that chick. One of the guys comments. Good job. Thank you. She replies, beaming. I still have no idea who the girl in the movie is, so I don't add anything. I smell hamburgers and Italian sausages as the back door opens. Mom is carrying platters filled with the tasty meat. She looks at me and raises an eyebrow. Shouldn't that kind of outfit be saved for the bedroom? She teases, knowing exactly what Lily had planned for me earlier. I blush as everyone laughs and bury my head in my hands. Cole leans down and whispers in my ear. You're keeping that outfit. Well, everyone, sit and dig in. Mom says, putting the food on the table. Mom sits at the end of the table. I sit next to her and Kyle. I grab a hamburger. To my agent extraordinaire, Mylan Noban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. And potato salad. Just as I start to eat, I notice my mom keeps glancing at me. To my agent extraordinaire, Mylan Noban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Don't you have a poster in your room that looks... No, we're not talking about it. We're going to be the girls from Sucker Punch for Halloween. Lily explains. She's not wearing that anywhere. Kyle states, shaking his head. Oh, come on. Lily complains. I'd rather my daughters wear clothing. I'm with Kyle on this. Pick something less revealing. Dad ordered, pointedly looking at a disgruntled Lily. I, however, am very grateful. I mouth thank you to him and go back to eating. Emily, have you met Alpha Alex Briggs? I shake my head looking down the table to the 2 guys from earlier. No, sweetie. He's across from you. Embarrassed, I look over at him. Sorry. Nice to meet you. He doesn't reply, just looks at me curiously. Mom points to the two at the other end of the table. That's Damon and Stephen, two of our best enforcers. I smile and wave at them. I don't see T, Brenda or Rachel. Where's T and Brenda? In their room. It's the hormones. Mom replies, smiling. Kyle, I want to take you to see the property where Alex and I are allowing our packs to run with each other. It's right along our border. You might want to think of doing something similar. Kyle agrees. He and Dad leave after lunch, but not before Kai orders me to our room to change. I put on black leggings and a loose black top. I just leave the room when I see off Alex bricks. I lower my eyes when he stops in front of me. Do you play Call of Duty? Seriously, I have played it. I answer. Your brother's left with your dad. I need a partner. You in? I hear Liddy call my name. Yes. Panicking, he laughs and opens the door across from my room. I walk in and see the big screen TV with the Xbox hooked up and Call of Duty is waiting to be played. 20 minutes into the game and I forget about him being an alpha. What are you doing? You keep missing that guy. I shout, standing up for the 5th time yelling at the screen. I am very competitive, something no one usually sees in me. Quit standing up at every 2 minutes and I might be able to, he yells, but is interrupted by a knock on the door. Liddy pokes her head in. What are you two doing? Building a house. What does it look like? Alex remarks. Sarcastically, she sticks out her tongue and shuts the door. Pay attention. I remind him and start the game again. We just finish another level when I hear Kai ask someone where I am. She's in Alex's room. They've been going at it for hours. Liddy mutters. My jaw drops and Alex laughs. Carl throws open the door, almost breaking it off its hinges. I didn't mean it like that. I meant they've been playing that stupid game and arguing about it. Liddy yells, hey. Quietly. I can see he's not happy. Wait. We have like 5 more levels before we can stop. Alex, stay. Can I play? Nervously. He nods. I'll be in Jack's office. Keep the door open. He orders and leaves. I watch him go, hesitantly. To my agent extraordinaire, Myron Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Alex asks. I turn back and we play for another hour. Let's go for a run. I need to stretch before dinner. Standing up and walking to the door. I don't think, come on. We'll take Jess with us. He replies. Knowingly, I shrug and follow him. He opens up Jess's door. We're going for a run. Come with us. Yay, my first run with my sister. She replies, excitedly bouncing around me and pulling me to the stairs. We get to the backyard. Liddy and I walk off to strip and change. We meet up with Alex's big grey wolf and start running. Alex sets the pace. I keep up easily, even while taking in my surroundings. Half an hour later, I look back to Liddy but don't see her. I stop and whimper, looking around frantically. I start running back the way we came, not bothering to see if Alex is following. I can hear his paws hit the ground behind me. I quickly change and run into the house, finding Lily in the kitchen helping with dinner. Hey, sorry. You guys are too fast for me. I couldn't keep up. She explains. You scared me. I thought something happened to you. I state, as Alex calmly comes into the room. No, I'm just slow. She shrugs. I would have slowed down. You should have said something. Feeling guilty that I ran too fast on our first run together. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. We'll go again tonight. She responds, in a bubbly voice. Can I help with dinner? I think we're pretty much done. Everything is baking. Just sit and relax. Mom says, waving me to the island. I sit on one of the stools and a bottle of water is placed in front of me. To Alex as he sits next to me. You have beautiful land here. It's a lot like Kyle's territory. I remark. looking at my mom who was watching Alex curiously. Yes, they're similar. I think Kyle has a few more miles than us. But his pack is bigger too, she answers, looking back at me. I nod and watch as Rachel comes in the room looking bored. How was shopping? Mom asks. Good. When's dinner? Ivy asks, taking a Diet Coke from the refrigerator. In another hour. Lily answers as Ivy walks away. I bite my lip. What did I do to her? It's obvious she doesn't like me. Someone is jealous. Alex comments, amused, thinking he's talking about me. I huff. What's not to be jealous of? She's tall and beautiful. I'd do anything for long legs like hers. I grumble. I know. I hate being short. Lily agrees. I was talking about Ivy being jealous of you. I look at him perplexed. You have Kyle. It's something she wants. He points out. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Don't start anything. Mom warns. I'm only telling her why her big sister doesn't like her. She has a right to know. He replies. Seriously. Mom looks at me. She'll get over it when she finds a mate. If she finds a mate. That girl, Alex. Mom scolds, trying not to laugh. Alex smiles and leans back in his stool. Want to finish the next level before dinner? Nah, I want to hear more about the two of you. I point to Mom and Lily. An hour later I'm overloaded with information and dazed at how much these two can talk without breathing. They really are the happiest people I've ever met. They're so similar it's like they're the sisters. I smile at their behavior and wish I was more like them. My stool is pulled back and Kyle lifts me up and sits down on my chair with me on his lap. I turn and smile at him, grateful he made me come. Who knows when I would have found the courage to come here and meet them. I would have wondered every night about them until I did. I'm really glad I'm here. Everyone sits down for dinner talking and laughing with each other. It's halfway through eating and Ivy talks for the first time. Why do you keep staring at her? She questions. Alex, who doesn't look her way. She's not like the others. What do you mean? Mom asks calmly. He looks away from me towards Mom. She's just different. He shrugs. She's not different. She's special. Mom corrects. Smiling at me, I smile back. Same thing. He responds. I feel Kyle tense up and stare at Alex. I put my hand on his thigh trying to get him to relax. You play card? Sisnick asks. I nod and Ryan adds. You're by far our favorite sister. I laugh at his declaration. Is she any good? To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Nick wants to know. I'm better than him. I reply. Defensively. You're not better than me. Alex states, crossing his arms. I saved your butt so many times. I remind him. That's because you kept standing up. I roll my eyes. It's not like I was standing in front of you. It was still distracting. That's a pretty lame excuse. Ryan laughs. Totally. I stand up all the time. Nick adds. Ice Maxie. You are wearing tight black pants and I thought you had on no underwear. I was distracted. I have underwear on. Automatically. I know that now. Those barely count as underwear. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilban. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. That's Kyle's mate. Dad interjects. I'm aware of that. Alex acknowledges. I relax. I know Kyle is still glaring. But Alex just addressed the fact that I was Kyle's mate. He's not challenging him. Kyle is just being possessive. How old are you? Alex asks. I'll be 18 on the 22nd, on the 20th of September. I correct? You mated by choice. Yes, he asked you and you said yes. I look at Kyle. It was implied. I'm sorry. I don't see the point in these questions and you're really making him mad. I tell him nervously. I know the threat Kyle presents to Alex and yet. He's still trying to antagonize him. My point is that he marked a girl before her 18th birthday and didn't get consent from her parents. It's against wolf law. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Leave it. Dad states. Bored. You don't care that he marked your daughter without her consent. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Before her 18th birthday, I doubt he marked her against her will. Lily scoffs. He's an alpha. Implied is not asking. He argues. Why do you care? Kyle growls. It's not right. Alex answers. Simply. Does she look unhappy to you? Kyle counters. Alex's eyes darken. I could make her happier. Kyle shoots out of his seat. His chair flying backwards from the force. I jump. Chapter 18 stop. Putting my hand of Kyle's forearm. Listen very carefully. I won't choose Kyle as my mate. I'll choose no other. Threaten him again and I'll let him finish what you tried to start. I guess that settles that then. Alex replies. Smiling. I guess it does. I agree. Kyle sits down on my chair and pulls me into his lap. You're very lucky to have her. Alex says. Sincerely. Talk about her again. Or look at her like you're doing now and we're going to have a problem. Kyle replies. We need to focus on why everyone is here. Reese is the fight. Not you two fighting over my daughter. She's marked Alex. Get over it. After dinner we're contacting Reese. I'll give him 24 hours to surrender his father to us. Or we strike against him. Now I'd like for both of you to get along. If it comes down to using force. Dad states. Alex nods at Kyle and Kyle nods back. Well, at least that's over. What is it with these alphas anyway? It's not me Alex wants. It's the challenge just like it was for Kyle. I think all alphas can't stand to not be wanted and sought after. I can't imagine what would have happened if Kyle didn't take an interest in me. I'd probably be with Reese here if my parents would have told me the truth about my past. I have to admit I'd like to stay here a little longer than a few days. But I know Kyle would never let that happen. I lean back against him, tired from a long day. Kyle rubs my side as he continues eating and I feel my eyelids get heavy. I feel agitated, then I hear shouting. I open my eyes startled and see my father yelling into the phone. I will wipe you out. You have until 12 o'clock tomorrow. He threatens. Harshly, I look up at Kyle who is still holding me in his arms. Although I notice we're now in my father's office. Did he agree? Quietly. He agreed. If he could have you. Kyle answers. I don't have to ask what he said to that. I put my head back down on Kyle's shoulder, getting comfortable. Want to go for a run? Kyle asks. Sure, but I have to go with Lily after dinner. I owe her one. Owe her one. From earlier, Alex and I ran too fast for her. She couldn't keep up. I explain. His hands tighten on me and his head snaps to Alex. At dinner you said, you know she's wearing underwear now. You watched her. Kyle accuses. His voice cold and hard to explain. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Dad orders. I feel my breathing hitch, betraying my nervousness. My heart races. I look at Alex and he says, when we realized Lily wasn't with us, we ran with her back to house. She shifted before I knew it and started dressing. I didn't stay and watch her, even if I wanted to. He replies, smirking. Kyle, why don't you go for that run? Dad urges. Knowing as well as I do Kyle is close to snapping. I see the challenge in Alex's eyes. He couldn't care less about Kyle's wrath. I'm starting to think I underestimated him. Alex is either confident in his fighting or completely stupid, and I've met a stupid alpha. Let's go. Trying to stand up. Kyle's hold on me doesn't ease. I look at my father. Distract him, he mouths to me. My eyes get big remembering the last time I tried that. Gradually, I turn in his lap until I'm facing him. His eyes are still on Alex, fighting with his wolf to come out and most likely rip the other alpha to shreds. I clear my throat, trying to get his attention. I'm too short. I try pulling his face towards me, and it doesn't work. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. My dad warns as Kyle starts to shake and growl. I don't know what happened, but I stand up and put my baggy shirt over Kyle's head. His groaning and shaking stops as he licks the valley between my breasts. Well, that's one way to do it. Dad mutters, amused. It's better than what I did last time. I grumble, trying not to let Kyle's wandering tongue make me moan. I hear Kyle's deep laugh, obviously remembering the incident too. Deciding he's had enough fun, I lift myself up so I can take my shirt off of his head without exposing myself. Better. Sitting back down on his lap, I feel his hardness and blush. Uncontrollably, the phone rings and Dad answers it. Alpha Griffin. I watch his face harden, listening to whatever the caller says. We'll meet you there, he replies. Hanging up, he's bringing his father over tomorrow morning at 900. What changed his mind so fast? He just found out he's going to be a father. Dad answers. I can see he's relieved. What are you going to do to Chris Reese? I question, curiously. Kill him. Chapter 19. Carl carries me out of the room towards the back doors right off the kitchen. We get to the edge of the woods and he drops my legs, allowing me to stand. I'm about to undress behind a tree when Carl stops me. He undresses me slowly, not saying a word, his fingers lingering on my skin. By the time he's done, I can tell he's worked up. I'm sure my scent isn't helping. Undress me. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. His voice deep and husky. I look at him a little shocked, then lift my hands to the hem of his shirt. I run my hands along his skin like he did to me. I get it to his pecs before he has to take over and take it off himself. I lower my eyes to his belt and slowly into the buckle. I slide my fingers into the waistband of his jeans, unbuttoning them, with my hand still holding his pants at his waist. I use the other to lower his zipper. I push down his pants and they fall to the ground around his feet. I trace the elastic of his briefs, looking at his hardness. I lower my hand and trace it with my finger. He growls low in his throat and I tug on the material, pulling it down past his erection. I lean forward and kiss the middle of his chest. Before he can wrap his arms around me, I shift and take off running, my white wolf shaking with the excitement of being chased. I dodge trees and boulders, scaring wildlife and eluding Kyle. I get to a small clearing when I feel his solid body crash into mine, his jaws on my neck making me growl in excitement. He shifts back. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He demands and I automatically shift. His body is still flush with my back. He turns me over and kisses me, dominating my mouth. All of a sudden I feel him tense up and sit back up. Looking around, he stands up and shifts, so I do the same. I don't hear anything, but Kyle is watching and waiting for something. In a flash I see a wolf come out of the woods and tackle Kyle. He reverses positions with the wolf within seconds. I'm taken down from behind an aisle out, sending up chunks of grass and dirt. I howl when I feel my paw snap and powerful jaws biting down on my neck. I hear loud whimpering, then it's silenced. I feel a rush of wind and the wolf behind me is hit by another and they roll away from me. I look up and see Kyle tearing out another wolf's throat. I stand, careful not to put weight of my paw, and turn behind me, seeing two dead wolves next to Alex. That's for total. Why did they attack us? Kyle and Alex shift back. I keep my eyes on Kyle. Do you know any of them? He questions. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. These are Jack's men. I look over at Alex from shock. My father's men just tried to kill us. I hear more wolves coming closer. Carl leans down in front of me and inspects my paw. It's broken, he states, and I feel his anger rush through me. What happened? I hear Dad shout, running into the clearing in a pair of jeans. Your men are to act them, Alex answers. I watch as my dad takes in the dead bodies, his rage showing. My men tried to kill you and my daughter. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He shakes his head. Just me. How could Reese have gotten to them so fast? Kyle inquires perplexed. I don't know. They're all enforcers. They were hired at different times. Dad replies, confused. Where's your beta? Could he have given them this order? Alex asks, coming to some kind of conclusion by the look on his face. Dad turns and yells to his men find Brooks. Now his eyes land on me. Are you hurt? He questions, coming closer. Broken wrist, Kyle states. He nods and walks back into the woods, bringing out a large black t-shirt. He'll shift back and put this on. You won't be able to run back like you are. Carl takes the shirt and we walk behind a group of trees. I shift back and feel the pain in my wrist intensify. Carl dresses me careful because of my broken wrist. I think you're wrong. That wolf wanted to kill me. I move my hair aside and show him my neck. I feel the broken skin and the burning sensation. Going for the neck in an aggressive manner is considered a kill shot. This wasn't Reese. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He nods in understanding and we walk out of the woods. I hold my wrist tightly with my other hand, trying to keep it from moving. Alex and Dad are discussing what the next step is. Look, Kyle orders, showing them my neck. So it's not Reese. Someone here wants you both dead. Alex responds, looking at my neck. Let's get back. I'll send people out asking who these were seen with over the past 24 hours. They could have been acting without orders. We start walking back home. Kyle and Dad are in a heated discussion about the wolves that attacked us. Thanks for saving me. Quietly to Alex. I guess you owe me one. He replies, not knowing what to say. I nod and stay quiet for the rest of the walk back. Chapter 20. The house comes into view and we all walk inside. I see a group of wolves in the kitchen. Most look terrified, so I know there's some of the wolves that died. Kyle and Alex will be interrogating. This is ridiculous. I doubt anyone here wanted us dead. The people that wanted us dead are in that meadow. What happened? Mom yells, rushing to my side. I show her my wrist. I think it's broken. I need to go get it looked at. Can you take me? To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Sweetie, she's not going anywhere alone. She needs a guard. Alex says, looking at Kyle. Do you have any men you trust? Kyle questions Dad. Dad growls. Not right now. You go with her. Alex orders. I know Kyle needs to stay to question people. He wouldn't leave it to someone else. Interrupting, I say, the ones that wanted me hurt are dead in that field. You can trust your men. Dad, a couple of his men are nodding at what I'm saying. She's right. Mom seconds. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Damon, you go with Jen and Emily. Dad orders. I don't bother changing. The shirt covers me to my knees anyway. I won't lie, I'm a little hurt by the fact that Kai isn't coming with me, but my safety and finding out who tried to kill me is his top priority. We get in the black Hummer, and Mom drive to the doctor's office in the middle of the suburban town. Damon opens the door for me and we walk into the building. There are a few people, but we're admitted immediately and taken to a room. I sit on the exam table hearing the crunch of the white paper underneath me. I look down at my wrist. It's already starting to swell and turn a dark bluish purple. Does it hurt? Do you want me to ask for some pain reliever? Mom asks, wincing at the sight of my wrist. No, it's okay. It only hurts when I move it. I answer as a young man around 29 comes in the room. My first thought is that Elisa would eat him alive. He's dark blonde hair and blue eyes. Her favorite. Then again, everyone is Elisa's dream. Wolf. I'm calling her as soon as I leave. Hello. I'm Dr. Sanders. He introduces himself to my mom and, out of respect, hi. He lifts my wrist gently and examines it. It's already swelling and bruising. I'd say you have multiple breaks in your wrist and possibly your hand. I'll need to take you for an X-ray. I nod in acknowledgement and he writes a few things down on my chart. Is there a possibility that you're pregnant? No, I'm on my period. Are you allergic to any medications? No, great. If you'll follow me, we'll get those X-rays. I get down and follow him down the hall. He opens the door and I go in. I watch as he turns on the machine and takes a grey vest from the wall. He puts it over my head and moves my hair. What happened to your neck? A wolf attacked me. I reply, that's a kill shot. I know. My mate and father are looking into it. I assure him. It needs to be cleaned. Before you leave. Laying my wrist on a flat surface. He turns out the lights and lowers a hanging device. Hitting the button once. A nurse comes in to help, and after a few painful X-rays involving moving my wrist to different angles, we stop and he takes the vest off. Let's clean that wound on your neck while they develop. We walk back to the room while the nurse waits for the X-rays. Mom is pacing and looks relieved when we come back in. Sit down and I'll get started. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Taking out alcohol and gauze. I do as he says and he starts on my neck. The burning and stinging sensation makes me flinch. He finishes and wraps the wound. There's a knock on the door and a nurse comes in with a folder. The doctor takes it from her and turns on the light hanging on the wall, pushing the black-looking X-rays onto the screen. He studies them, then turns to me. You have a fractured wrist. Your radius and the scaphoid are broken. I'll need to put a cast on your hand and wrist. I nod, really just wanting this to be over with. I keep getting an anxious feeling and I know it's Kyle worrying about me. I'm given a black cast, painkillers and extra gauze for my neck. On the way back to the house I ask, Mom, can I use your phone? Sure, she replies, handing it to me in the back seat. I dial Elisa's number as she picks up after the second ring. Hello. Hey, it's me. I just met the wolf of your dreams. He's a doctor with dark blonde hair and blue eyes. To our agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. At the doctor's office, I broke my wrist. You're such a klutz. She laughs. I let her laughter wash over me. I miss you. Miss you too. When are you coming back? Couple days. How's your real family? She inquires and I can hear her crying softly. You'd love them. Especially Lily. Next time you need to come with me. I hear her hiccup. Elisa, it's fine. Don't cry, it's not your fault. Trying to think of a way to cheer her, I tell her. I had to distract Kyle from attacking another alpha. She stops crying and giggles. What did you do? I put my shirt over his head. While I was still wearing it. I grumble. She laughs. I would have killed to see that. Loving that she's happy again, I add. There's more. No way. She says. Amused. It was in front of my dad. I wince. Remembering. You can never leave home without me ever again. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I see that we're pulling up to the house. I love you. Sister, love you too. I'll call you tomorrow. I assure her. Okay. Bye-bye. I hang up and give the phone back to my mom as the car stops. I move to open the door. But Kyle opens it for me. That took entirely too long. Did you find anything? Almost afraid to know the answer, nothing yet. He picks up my wrist. I'll kill whoever did this. I'm pretty sure I already did. Alex states. From behind Kyle. We're ready to get started on the next interrogation. Don't leave the house. Kyle tells me. I won't. I'm tired, I'll probably go lay down. He walks us inside and kisses my head before I walk up the staircase to our room. I close the door to our bedroom behind me. Grabbing a change of clothes, I take a bath. I'm careful of my cast and neck, relaxing against the back of the tub. I can feel myself getting sleepy, so I get out and dry off. I dress quickly and drag myself to bed. Snuggling under the covers, I fall asleep. I wake up when the sun is just starting to rise. I slept through all day yesterday. I look to Kyle's side and notice it's untouched. I use the toilet, thanking God I only have 3-day periods. I walk downstairs quietly. I know if Kyle didn't come to bed, he's still with my dad and hadn't. I knock on the office door, already knowing they're behind it. Come in. I hear Dad's tired voice. I open the door and smell stale coffee. Have you been up all night? Worried. Going to the couch where Kyle and Alex are sitting here. Dad answers, "We don't have any real leads." That's bullshit. Talk to Ivy. She was seen with 2 of the 4 wolves we killed. Alex states, "To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfading patience, enthusiasm." I told you, Ivy wouldn't do this. Dad roars, standing up. Then talk to her. Get her story. Alex shouts back, still managing to look relaxed. Cole pulls me into his lap, holding me tightly. I can see my father's anger. I hate to side with Alex, but he's right. I don't think it's Ivy, but it wouldn't hurt to talk to her. She might have heard something and doesn't even realize it. We're talking to her, Kyle states, looking straight at Dad. Finally, Dad nods in understanding. I'll get her. Dad replies, heavy-hearted, and leaves the room. Why does he look so sad? Ivy wouldn't be a part of this. She did it. He knows it too. Alex responds. I look at him. You can't possibly know that. He raises an eyebrow at me. You're entirely too sweet and innocent. He replies, smirking. I look at Kyle, who looks distracted. Do you think she did it? I ask him. She did it. Why, I whisper, shocked. He doesn't reply, but looks to the door questionably. Dad comes back in. She's gone. Holding a piece of paper. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Alex replies, holding out his hand for the paper. Dad gives it to him, and I watch as he reads it. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. She's harsh. Alex hands the paper to Kyle. Kyle holds it in front of us, and we both read. Dad, yes. It was me. I tried to have them both killed. I enjoyed every day that bitch you called a wife suffered from losing her precious baby. Now, she's back and I can't have that. You only have yourself to blame. Did you once think of my mother before you moved on to that hole? I want you to suffer. I want the whole family to suffer. It will happen. I'll have my way very soon. She wants my mom and dad to suffer for betraying her mom. I thought you first mate passed away. She did. She died giving birth to Ivy. Jenna is the only mother she's ever known. Dad answers, looking completely worn out. You need rest. All of you need rest. We're meeting Reese in a couple hours. Dad responds, yawning. Do you want me to make you breakfast? Instead of arguing with him, no, I'm fine. Dad responds, still looking lost. Kyle stands up and carries me out of the room. What are you doing? Going to bed. That's a good idea. But I just got up, hoping he puts me down. Me too. I gasp at him. We can't have sex in my parents' house. The woods, sure, but not the house. He opens the door with me still in his arms. Can't you wait until we're back at home? Whispering now. I can't wait. He replies, sounding so truthful I can't help but smile. He lays down on his back, leaving me sitting up and straddling his waist. His fingers run up my thighs under my shorts. You teased me in the woods. I blush. I did. Take off your clothes. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilben, Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Slowly. I hesitate only a second before I start lifting the hem of my shirt. I go slowly, letting it caress my skin before pulling it off completely. I watch his eyes darken and shift to climb off of him to get rid of the rest of my clothes. I feel his eyes on me as I lower my shorts and underwear. Stepping out of them, I hear him move, taking off his shirt and sliding down his pants. He grabs me by the waist and brings me back over him, putting me down to kiss him. His soft lips and warm mouth dominate mine, making me want him desperately. He sits up and I have no choice but to follow, still kissing him. His hands lift me by my butt and lowers me slowly on his hardness. I break the kiss, moaning loudly, nearly coming apart when his mouth finds his mark on the good side of my neck. I rock back and forth and he lays back down. He watches me above him and helps move my hips in time with his own thrusts. When his fingers find my pleasure point, I scream his name. By the time we're done, I start to hear movement in the house and everyone waking up. I collapse on his chest and he carries me into the shower. I stand with my arm out of the spray, preserving my caste as he washes my body.